Mic check, mic check. So, all right, let's get the show ready. Tell a friend, we're going live in 7 seconds. Now, all right, excellent. I think this is the 258th show, so I think I have to update that. Well, let's see what we can do. Let's find that fantastic PDF that we always start with. Welcome everyone to the Black Betterment Broadcast. I'm your host, Brother Raven. Very busy day today. Just about got around to getting everything done, but I think everything's been compressed and done. So we made it. Yeah. So yeah, it is the 250. It is the 258th, I believe. Could be wrong. But let me check that out. Big up everyone who's listening. Don't forget to tell a friend we are live. This is the Black Betterment Broadcast. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram. There it is, Black Betterment Building. I shall copy and paste that and put it there because that's what you need. Big up everyone who's live in the house. Don't forget this show is about the community, so whatever you want, we do. All right. Okay, so retroactive expectations. This means that, because of the past, we have to live a certain way. And what does that mean? That means remember the atrocities inflicted upon the ancestors and the community in the past and the present, and behave in a way that reflects this. Let's reconnect with Black people locally and globally and form networks to teach each other about different cultures, repair the Black community of historical trauma that causes self-hate and challenges and health issues, and rebuild the Black family, the Black economics, the Black nation. That's right. So because of the past time to us, these are the things that, by osmosis, maybe we should be trying to think about doing. You understand? And that's right, But in order to do that, we have a solution, and the single solution to help that is Black Betterment. That's right. This entire broadcast is about promoting a lifestyle called Black Betterment. Really? Oh, yes. It is a lifestyle of Black people continuously helping Black people. If you can make that concept trendy, everyone, that's the goal. Make helping Black people trendy. So that's your homework. If you can think ways of doing it, you're winning. And that's what this broadcast does. It teaches Black people to actually be one, put Black people first when it comes to finding solutions. Amazing. That's right. We tend to focus on Black families, Black economics, and Black health. And big up Your Liberty and Matchfit, where two companies we're supporting as the grassroots growing their brands. And don't forget to follow them. Blah, blah, blah. Good stuff. Also, we've sent a link out so people can jump in and talk as we like. It is a live show and it is for the community. But when you do, please don't forget about the 4D values. What are those? Well, it's discipline, dedication, dignity, and discernment. Yes, the 4D values. If you can remember that when we talk, or when you talk to Black people in general, you'll find that solutions are easier to come across and you have less anxiety. That's right. Try to use geography language if possible. All right. So today's fantastic topics are Black grifter detection, and we discuss how to detect grifters in the community. And dumbing down to fit in, we discuss solutions to young boys feeling they need to dumb down to fit in. Yeah, so that last one just came. I saw a video today. Some young 20, well, not young, 25, young enough, and he was talking about dumbing down and some other stuff. Living in London, I think it was. But I thought, okay, we'll have a listen to that because I've heard this kind of thing before, so it might be quite interesting to listen to and to see. We might start with that one while I get ready for this stuff. And Black grifters, yeah, that's what it is basically. I've seen some videos in the past of some African gentleman, and he's saying a lot of very strong things, and it's very harsh, and he tries to demonstrate and prove it. And I was reading the comments in some of his videos, and he seemed to have a lot of people agreeing with him and saying he's the African Thomas Sowell and this kind of stuff like that. And I thought, okay, let's unpack what he's doing. Not that bro's a grifter or anything, but I never got time to do it, but I wanted to make a chart, and it's a very important chart. I've got to do it, and that is like, when there's Black people in the community saying things, whether it's very harsh, or very true, or they want support, whatever it might be, there should be a set of questions we can ask to establish, like, is this brother or sister for the Black community? Like, they might be saying things that's very shocking or very true. I say a lot of shocking things. The stuff I say is very shocking, but hopefully I don't fail the grifter text or whatever that I create for myself, whatever. But saying shocking things is one thing, but then there's also the motivation behind saying shocking things, because we live in the internet where actually shocking things is a good way to make money. So it comes down to, is there a purpose behind the shots you're saying, and and maybe it might be connected to grifting. Who knows? We shall unpack that. We're going to start with dumbing down to fit in. So let me find a video. This is a video of I saw it today. I thought I must cover it. It's a topic that has been in some form in the black community all over I've seen it many times, many generations. So let's listen to this gentleman. If I can find his video, I'm beat up again, so I can't really find. I'm very tired. There we go. Let's try this on the shows. And you know what? If I update this machine, because the way it's default is not helpful. There we go. This is better. There you go. Let's have a sneak peek at this.
Okay, this should be fun.
So the brother, I downloaded him, but where his channel is, big that up. I don't know what it's about, but I just saw it download. I thought, let's have a listen. Give me time to drink my tea.
Just as a disclaimer before we get started, I'd like to say these are all my opinions, and if you get offended, that is your own problem, alright?
I was going to use strong language here and there. Forgive him, it's a case study, so that stuff.
Suck your mum, dickhead, pornplex, waste. Let me stop there. Okay. Now that's out of my system, let me start by saying, I know this video is called Why I Hate London, but let me kind of take that back without taking it back. Because I'll start with this. I love London. I love the diversity, the energy, the rhythm. I love that I can hop on a bus and hear 5 languages before I get to the next stop. I love the shared experiences. The way that when you see another brother walking down the street, we've got the unspoken head nod. Like, it's natural to us. How we all collectively complain about the central line, or how we can all reminisce on when being able to afford 4 wings and chips was our biggest problem. I love the food, the slang, the fashion, the way that we kind of remix everything and make it ours. This city raised me. But loving something doesn't mean ignoring its flaws. And there's definitely a side of London culture, especially for black men, that I struggle with, that I need to speak on. So let's talk about it. Alright, firstly, let's start with the anti-intellectualism and the fear of depth.
So brother's saying there's an anti-intellectualism and the fear of death. So this brother's saying London, I suspect, and I'm pretty sure it's true, he's more talking about himself as a black man, pretty much around other black people living in London.
Let's be honest, if you're from London, you know this. As a kid growing up, being too smart, it was seen as that you're just trying too hard. You're a try hard, like you're doing too much. Like if you use big words, read a book, or ever dared to open up emotionally, you're embarrassing yourself. And it's this culture that trains young black boys to mock what they don't understand. Because we avoid depth, we avoid books, we avoid therapy, we avoid learning.
Avoid learning, very strong statement there. I mean, do you find that? Is that something you guys have come across? I think in all generations and in all over the diaspora, you probably get a bit of that, right? That going in some spaces. And if that's the case, we have to campaign, obviously, to reverse that and make learning the thing to do, which is what we can't do here, really.
And when you try to talk about something real, people either laugh at you or say that you're doing too much. And it's this mindset that limits us. And it's this mindset why there's so many young black men that are trapped in surface level identities, trapped in seeing themselves as just being one thing in a one box where they can't do anything else. Because daring to be different in this culture is seen as being weird, or you're trying too much, or you're doing the most. And I personally think a lot of this is really solidified in the school system. I don't know about you, but as a young black man in school, I was very much aware how I was treated differently from my peers, especially my peers that were white or even Asian or different races and cultures. I can definitely remember feeling like I was being scrutinized a little bit harder than other people were. And this made me kind of not want to put my hand up all the time. This made me not always want to be like the person that has the answer, just because, I'll be honest, sometimes when you get it wrong, it almost stings a bit more. Like people laugh a little bit longer. The teacher might make an extra little comment and it's like, okay, maybe I should stay in my place. And I think the UK school system really does fail to nurture the confidence in young black men. I don't think we really have a lot of role models to look up to when it comes to smart young black men. Of course, there's the outliers.
So that's another thing, not having any role models to look out for or notice. That's the important one. He says he didn't notice any smart black men that he could look as a role model.
People like Akala, for example. But let's be honest, there's a reason why he's known, because he's an anomaly. It's very rare to find someone from his sort of background and his sort of history that is able to escape it and also be very knowledgeable about the reasons why he was even in it in the first place. Even on the sense of like our comedy in the UK and in London especially, it's all just based on brain dead shit. It's all just one level, one note, brain dead shit. Let's be honest, all the big social media characters in the UK, especially in London, none of them are known for their qualities of character or like their strong opinions on things. It's all like, oh yeah, they're like laugh pigs. The people to point and laugh at, oh yeah, that's funny because X, Y. It's like the humor level in the UK, especially in London, is just so base level. It feels like it never really matures, and it's all about rewarding like just.
So we're dealing with a topic, dumbing down to fit in. Look at this brother here, just came across today. He's talking about his experience living in London, but it's more so his experience as a black man being in the black community, around black friends, I should say, more so. I'm just looking at, his analysis and seeing if anyone can relate, and is there solutions? That's an interesting thing. Something we've heard before, as in certain circles growing up. But yeah. But ultimately, this broadcast is about improving the black experience. So, if from some standpoint, young people feel that learning is a silly thing, the irony of that, and being perceived as smart is a negative, then already you're going to struggle. And the gentleman has said he hasn't seen too many people of his background who look like they're in some kind of smart environment or smart achievement. So this will have a knock-on effect where maybe people start valuing what is not smart. It doesn't help that certain arts and crafts and media promote certain things as well. But interesting. Let's go. Let's have Carol listen.
Humor and bravado over any sort of thoughtfulness. Like it's always kind of been like not cool to think. I literally remember like having conversations with my friends when I was younger, and I would be telling them how I'm going through something or I'm thinking about something deep, and it's just like awkward silence, people laughing at me a bit, and all right, yeah, let's get back to talking about this. Let's get back to talking about girls. Let's get back to talking about football, whatever. There's always been this kind of like anti-intellectualism, where it's like you don't want to do too much, you don't want to stick out, you don't want to be seen as intelligent, because that's not what you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be funny, you're supposed to be cool, you're supposed to be whatever. And I think this is where a lot of young men, especially young black boys who do have this like softer, deeper side, they suppress it because they get laughed at by their peers, they get ridiculed by people around them, and they slowly start to learn that, okay, I can't be this version of myself that I want to be, so I have to hide it, I have to bury it. And what that breeds is people that are very insecure, and people that have to use their bravado and their like fake masculinity and their fake confidence to go through the world. And the sad thing is, a lot of the time it works. A lot of the time it works, especially in London. Like if you want to be respected by people, it basically means you can't be yourself. You can't actually be vulnerable, because that isn't what people respect here. People respect the guy that is heartless. People respect the guy that can make decisions out of nowhere and just go mad out of nowhere. People like that.
So we're dealing with, so this is ultimately, even though it's dumbing down, he's bleeding into black men's mental health. And that's something that we should get more professional people to come speak on. It's a very important topic. And he mentioned it earlier. That is one thing that seems to be brushed by as well.
Kind of guy, they respect him. And if you don't show that kind of sense, or you don't show that type of personality, people are just gonna push you to the side. On that note, let's talk about jealousy and the crabs in a bucket mentality. I don't know if it's me, but I feel like in London there's this like unspoken rule where it's like, if you're doing well, don't let anyone know. Don't tell anyone.
Do you find that if you're doing well, you're not to tell anyone?
There's just like this sense that like someone's always watching, someone always has like evil eye, someone's always like wishing on your downfall. And it's like people aren't watching like to support you. It's not to support you. It's kind of be like just to ask you like who does bro think he is? Like who do you think you are? Trying to do something. Who do you think you are? trying to be a better person? Who do you think you are, like chasing your dreams? There's always that sort of energy in London, because instead of like celebrating each other's wins and celebrating each other's ambition and just celebrating each other in general, there's always a sense of competition. Like your friend that you've known for years, as soon as he's up, as soon as he starts making progress in something, there's a switch that people go through. It's like, oh, he's gonna leave us behind. He's gonna go and switch up and be a whole different person. Oh yeah, fuck it. Who does he think he is? There's always that sort of energy, and I think that's so toxic. There's a sense where they don't allow.
So did you not create? Did people not try to create a scenario that, if one person gets through, they're the ones going to bring the others? They don't have that kind of collaborative mindset. Or if one person gets through, there's a chance that he or she could represent something that they're about, or come back and form something where people, people can join in, or if someone is getting popular or successful in one area, well, because your close friends are your closest friends, they might be a part of that journey, as in they see you early and jump on it early, so they're part of that process. So it's not really a he, it's a we or a she. You know what I mean? I don't know. No, I'm saying, but that's this. I'm more so talking about solutions to if the people who go through that. Because I remember growing up and seeing jealousy in certain areas, and you definitely need to have a solution. For me, Black Betterment pro-blackness is one of the greatest solutions ever, because the life I live now, I look at through the lens of Black Betterment, as in collective betterment. So it's no longer a me thing; it's a we thing. And seeing someone other than me doing well is actually a good feeling. And I think if we can train that kind of like train your dopamine to explode when you see Black people succeeding, especially ones and also rather than waiting for your friends to get successful, you can be a part of that process. So interesting, very interesting.
People to change. They don't.
Big up African Goddess. These young people amaze me. You are the most privileged group of the Black British kids that have ever existed. You grew up with parents who understood the British school system and in an era of equal opportunities. That's from African Goddess. There you go. That's the sister's views.
Allow people to grow, and it's what keeps.
By the same token, we do want to hear, like, the thing with people in their environment, they're never going to experience what others have gone through. So they're not going to have a balanced referencing point to say, like, maybe I should think of it differently because others had it harder or better or worse or different. So because of that, it's definitely worth listening to what they're saying and seeing where the solution can come in.
Everyone's so stagnant. I don't know about you, but I feel like London culture has been stagnant for a while, and a massive reason for this is there's this element of just jealousy and always wanting to like be doing better than the next man. And it's exactly like the crabs in a bucket mentality, because a lot of us come from these deprived, poor backgrounds. A lot of our parents, they've been grinding for years, working. We've been seeing them come home from work every night, tired as hell. And a lot of us, we don't really acknowledge that, although we're in London, which is of course like a very rich area.
It's a process. We have made great strides as a people. Yeah. I like to think so. But also there are many people who, they're in a bit of a slump. And they're in a different environment that we might not see because they're there.
It's a very nice city from the outside. Like, when you're actually from the poorer parts in London, you don't really realize just like how bad it can be sometimes. So when you do see someone who's actually doing a bit better than people around them, when you do see someone who's trying to make a difference in their life, there is this sense of like, you're leaving us down here. And it's like, if I'm down here, you got to be down here with me, bro. Like, if you're down here, if I'm struggling, you got to struggle as well. And it's that sense that really keeps us down, man. Start a business, people are probably going to clown you for a bit. When you've got like 50 followers and you've been posting every day and the numbers aren't going up, people are going to clown you. That's a culture here. Laugh at people, point and laugh, because it's not you. Because I'm not trying, but he's trying and failing. Well, I feel better because I haven't even.
We're also in an era and generation now where, in the past, social media wasn't really what it was now, and having your whole private journey of starting something up and being able to like view it, and people view how people view it, and numbers and clicks and all that. But then obviously you have the culture where that people are they become obsessed with like clicking click throughs and people seeing people and all that kind of stuff and being trendy or whatever it is. And yeah, that could be a thing as well. I think the gentleman was talking about, someone tries to start a business and people mocking how much people follow them on social media, whatever, and it becomes almost like a bullying thing. Where once again, it's honoring the fact that you started something, and every amazing thing has a beginning, and it shows the growth of the graph, really.
Tried it. That mentality is so fucked, but it's rabid in London. Like you post your losses, it's like loser. You post your wins, it's like but why like bro is doing the most, he's showing off. Who does he think he is? Like you can't win. If we want to see a big shift in London, we need to start celebrating each other. We need to be able to acknowledge that if you have more, that doesn't mean I have less. If you're doing well, doesn't mean that I'm doing bad. Like for a lot of people, yeah, they won't even acknowledge that you're doing something until they see a next man acknowledge you or someone that they look up to acknowledge you. Like for a lot of people, they won't even acknowledge that you're trying or you're doing something until they see maybe like you've got international recognition, that maybe someone in another country likes you. It's like, oh, maybe this guy really is doing something. Maybe this guy really is this or that. It's like you couldn't see like the vision, but now they're up. You wanna, like, oh yeah, that's my guy. Oh yeah, I know him from X or Y. It's so fake. And of course, I'm not saying like you're not allowed to critique people. Like you're not allowed to, I don't know, try and help people with what they're doing by critiquing what they're doing wrong. But a lot of the time, it doesn't come from a place of like wanting them to do better. It just comes from a place of like, how dare you do better? Like you should be struggling down here with me. Like I guarantee you probably know like a friend that's like starting a business, maybe a friend that's like been rapping for years. When's the last time you actually said, oh bro, like I'm proud of you, man, for chasing your dreams. I'm proud of you for doing this. I'm proud of you for doing that. Me, like, there's a part of me that doesn't really want to show that love because it's been drilled into me that showing love is weak and showing love is just like, you don't do that until this person's reached X or Y, and it's all bullshit. It's all programming. All right, so let's talk about the roadman archetype and profiling. So as we all know, one of the most damaging stereotypes about London culture is the roadman archetype. And this roadman archetype has, let's be honest, it's taken over the whole of the UK. You will find guys that live in like the most cushy parts in like Kent, or the pushes, like the most like comfy parts in like, I don't know, can't even think of somewhere like bloody Oxford or something. And you're gonna see.
So this topic is dumbing down to Vin. We're looking at this gentleman's um, video, and he's talking about he's talking a lot of things, but essentially it's about him not being able to be himself and having to dumb down in the black community, even though he's saying London, the London black community. Um, and we're just analyzing that and seeing, is it something that we can approach, trying to find solutions for. But it also taps into black boys' mental health. But that is an interesting thing that young kids think they need to dumb themselves down. It's a very interesting topic. I've seen it happen. Definitely seen it happen for years. And that is it. And that's because we haven't made learning that kind of like super goal and champion people who are intelligent, really. Like champion intelligent people, champion success, and champion more importantly people who are community led, and they use that intelligence and success to further the community.
Kids dressing up like roadmen for some reason. It's taken over. It's become almost the norm for a lot of kids and a lot of young people in general. And I think obviously it's been glorified in the media to an extent, while also being vilified. And it's almost become like the default term used for young black men in London from people overseas. They'll see a young black man maybe wearing a tracksuit, wearing a hoodie. That's a roadman now. And this has become really damaging because what this is profiling. This is literal profiling. And the thing is, it doesn't matter like your age, like your qualifications, where you work. If you're dressed in a certain way, people are going to view you as a roadman regardless. I can tell you, I've been followed around shops. I've been stopped by the police, like side-eyed by strangers and shit, all because like I'm wearing roadman attire, which is literally just a hoodie and a tracksuit or some shit like that. And the thing is, it's messed up because not only does it criminalize us, but it boxes us in this identity. Because this like roadman archetype, the archetype of the guy that, you know, he's on the road, he's selling food, maybe he's got a knife on him, XY, he's selling drugs, whatever. This archetype is very damaging because
So his brother's obviously. I haven't seen his other content, but I assume. I don't want to anything, but yeah, he would definitely probably find one, to be honest. Yeah, that might be an idea. If I can find it, let me find the video, message him. That'd be good to talk to him. 25 years old, it's a good generation to talk about. Yeah, I might approach him, see what happens. But yeah, it's because maybe he's got another video that's about football or something, about eating chips or I don't know. But he seems like he really is focused on multifaceted anxiety topics, I guess. So that was all stemming to mental health in some ways. So I mean, we've got. I'm not gonna play all of it. It's about 6% done. Unless you guys go play more, I'm not gonna play more. I've got the other half of the show, but I mean, just an analysis. I don't know. Not sure what the stats are, but most young black men are not involved in the lifestyle he's talking. And that's the thing, yeah. There are a lot of people because they're so entrenched in their own life, they don't know anything else. But if this young gentleman is saying something, I suspect he's not young to me, but I suspect many others are going through it as well. I'm well aware of the dumbing down process and crabs in the barrel and I remember being young and just seeing people my age get successful, top of the pops, or I think that's what's called, top of the pops, or MTV or Yo or whatever. No, maybe not Yo, but I don't know, whatever they were called back then, the shows, and just hearing some people grumble at who they think they are and stuff. And yeah, I mean that might be a young thing, a jealousy thing, but I do think a culture of collective betterment, a collective celebration is that key, and understanding that our community there's many challenges and being successful is quite a very slim thing in certain areas, unfortunately. So be appreciative that someone makes it through, but also teaching the collective, each one teach one, look out for each other mentality where when you get through, whenever you can, you come back to help bring in and then essentially try to own your own stuff and all that good stuff there. So yeah, so let me go back to the thing. Unless you guys want me to carry on playing, I'm going to leave because he won't stop. He will keep going on. It's important to listen to him, but we got a show. But yeah, where is it? The moral of the story was removed from studio. Yes, the moral of the story was dumbing down to fit in. That's what the brother was essentially talking about. And how he can't be himself. And yeah, that's a shame. And I guess it'd be good to talk to people who've gone through that or go through that, or that's how it is. I think it might be a lot of us if you break it down really. Yeah, he mentioned something about being rich and not telling anyone. Because of jealousy and I assume handouts. But it's an interesting thing. So black, yeah. So the black grifter section. So this grifter thing. So a grifter is someone who is they're trying to make money in the community by doing things, maybe promoting one thing but doing something else and keeping it going because it's a grift, that kind of stuff. And you hear the phrase thrown around a lot for public speakers or people on YouTube or who have got shows or whatever. And especially if they ask for money donations or anything like that. And we were covering Brother Umar who's going through some challenges at the moment. And yeah, people call him a grifter. And I think when you call someone something, it's almost like once you say it's too late. Once you accuse someone of being something, it's too late. So it's too late to turn it back. So it's always like if you ever want to say something, you always want to make sure that it's definitely 100% correct. And that's why sometimes having a chart to ask people and seeing what they do, what they don't do, and that way you've got more of a way of saying, yeah, this guy definitely is that. And that's something that I need to do. I'm going to write down for us to really walk through that one, but I haven't had time at the moment. Well, what should we look at for? There's two. So there's an African brother, and I think I've also got Umar Johnson video. We've been covering him week to week. As weeks go by, things again. Let's just see. This is. I'm not saying Brother Umar is a grifter. This is more so connected to, because another thing. Let me pause for 5 seconds.
Just got exposed big.
So what I think, and just this actually connects to what the gentleman was saying before, as in like, it's like an extension of a crabs in the bucket where when someone's trying to do something in the community and so for example, when Dr. Umar bought the school building, there wasn't that much of a hoo-ha, but when he's about to lose it, there's a big hoo-ha, right? Because of bills or whatever it is. And that's what it is, where sometimes we gather and chase ghosts or chase people around, and that's the fun element, and gathering to watch someone's downfall, rather than either helping out or asking questions to help out to establish if something is problematic because the person is themselves problematic, rather than to just don't know what they're doing or struggling, over them actually being a grifter. So let's do 2 minutes of this, and then we'll jump into the actual guy I saw, because he talks for quite some time as well.
Time for lying to everybody, as well as multiple scams that have resurfaced. So in our last video, we discussed how Umar Johnson is losing his school building that he received $1.6 million for in donations from his fans to build a school for Black boys. He's losing a school and he's losing a building because he owes about $72,000 in unpaid fees.
Big up Sister Christy Ramport contributor
to the city of Wilmington, Delaware. Now, a lot of people is asking, if you raise $1.6 million in donations, bought a school for $400,000, where did the other $1.2 million go, and why exactly are the fees not being paid? Umar Johnson knew beforehand that everybody was going to have these questions if the news go public that he's losing the school. So Umar Johnson went live a week before the news went public and told everybody that his bank accounts were frozen. So when the news went public that he's losing the school, Umar Johnson said the white man is conspiring against.
My understanding is that several people reached out to Dr. Umar offering help, which he refused. Yeah, and that's what I'm going to. That concept is always what I'm going to offer to the grifter test, where someone is offering, but you're more concerned with. Not saying that that's what he was, but what we're saying with donations rather than actual help, and also. Blocking people who are contributors and they want to know how things are going, and they, whatever.
They froze his accounts at the same time they were requiring him to.
You're gonna have to put Tariq Nasheed on the grifter list. Yeah, the thing is, like, a lot of the and that's why I have to make a list. A lot of the conscious, they call it the conscious community. This is like the YouTube community that came up in 2006, 7, 8. My date's probably wrong, but around that then, where you had a lot of YouTube videos of content creation, and a lot of it was like waking up Black people and a lot of religious stuff, ancient Kemet or Black versions of Abrahamic faiths or whatever, and a lot of those people there, they've gone on to do things and make certain things and have spin-off things, whatever, but them, the first thing when things go wrong, that the term they use is grifter, like, you're doing this, doing that. So that's why I think it's important to have a kind of like a grifter chart where you can ask a certain amount of questions, and by their answer, you can determine that this person probably, the way they function isn't necessarily for the best interest of the community. We need looking at, and like I said, this is for the Black community worldwide. Well, UK has plenty of people who potentially could fit the mold of someone who is grifting. I think, I saw I never had time. I was doing so much work this week, I couldn't get done. But I wanted to break down to like one path would be people who they what was I going to say? They clicks and likes, and they make their money through social media. So by getting a following and getting sponsorship, whatever it is, that's a way to make money. So then in that process, you can see that them wanting to only get a certain response from people, or a certain kind of shop kind of approach, guarantees a more heightened income. So that then becomes the focus. And then the other one is people who directly ask for money, like, I need money, give me money. And it's, I mean, by all means, you can say, give me money, and that's not an issue. If you want money, make him play your money. But it's more so it's where someone's asking, like, I want money to do this thing, but this thing never gets done, which allegedly is what they're saying that Brother Umar has gone through, not gone through.
Pay these fees, and his bank account was frozen. That's why he couldn't pay the fees, so hence he's losing the school. Well, Umar Johnson made a very big mistake, okay? See, he went live asking for his 1 million plus followers on Instagram to boycott the city of Wilmington, Delaware, kind of forcing their hands to expose him. Umar Johnson told his audience that Wilmington, Delaware, they ignored all of his attempts to pay this. They ignored all his correspondence, his emails, his...
Tap into mental health as well. I think some of these people, like Brother Umar, and obviously people calling grifters, at some point we have to check the mental health of some of these people who live in the world, the streaming world, where they're streaming, quite a lot, and everything they do is documented. So that means many people have mental challenges, but you don't necessarily because they're not public people. But if you're seeing a person, like the response that Brother Umar had towards this woman fiasco, whatever happened didn't happen, and also this freezing of the bank, whatever. It's something. If that's how he is, then there should be a concern, because it seems like someone who's falling down. And if he's not falling down, then it's the behavior. It's not the best behavior that you would expect from a potential headmaster or that kind of role. If that's the role he was playing in schools, if his role was just getting the school built and leaving, then I guess he could do anything really.
Calls, they completely shut him out, while at the same time simultaneously trying to sell his school behind his back.
I want y'all to get ready for a protest. I want all FDMG donors and supporters to get ready for a protest. We may have to march on City Hall, brothers and sisters. We may have to...
Also, drugs, I'm not saying the problems with drugs, but drugs is an issue in the community, and it could play a part in so many things. Another thing as well, within the chart, as in like accountability. So I think when someone is in a community, they're doing community work, find out, do they have elders, or do they have an authority where when something goes right or wrong, you can point to an elder or an experienced person for them to seek counseling. I think when someone becomes a soloist and they're bouncing everything in their head, that means it makes a project more problematic, because, as you see, you don't know the full spectrum of it, and you know that if someone does something that might be best coming, there's no real advice you can give them, especially if they have a kind of beef-based presentation when it comes to that's another thing with the internet. You expect to have bravado and the whole battling thing, and people calling, I'm the best, I get that. Well, if that then becomes your main thing, where you are the person calling yourself the best, then that now you're tapping into an issue, because really what should be happening is your works should let people talk about you, like the things you've actually done. You can talk about. So they mentioned Brother Tariq Nasheed, and very controversial person since the get-go. But one thing he has done is he has delivered on the things that he was trying to do. And that's always going to be, regardless of where someone is or isn't, if you deliver on public fundraising stuff, that's always going to look in your best interest. There we go. He has he's only made it 10 times harder for genuine Black people trying to build and raise funds. And that's the thing, brother. Young, is that this? Say that wrong, forgive me. It's all for Umar. He needs to be taken down. Okay, he used as an example of what will not on. I think this is a huge problem in the Black community, where it comes to like fundraising and community stuff, where where when you gamble with the trust of people who have so little and have been burnt so many times, it does make it harder for others. Like I know for a fact that everything I've ever done has to be done in the framework of I cannot be connected to or cannot be in a position where I am doing these error-prone things that might harm my community. So even like trying to join a community thing that they're asking the community for funds, I have to be very diligent about. Okay, should I join that? And am I recommending that people do that? Because if one thing goes wrong, it's an epic story about you see all that kind of things. Now he's created FBA and one of the founders of the new Tribal Hate. Just Shadow, his Hidden Colors series for me. Yeah, and that is that we tried to cover that a few weeks back. That whole civil war, the civil war that goes on online, and yeah, and this is the thing with the whole tribalist stuff, right? No matter what black people listen, this is, and I think brother Kel was very good at talking about this, but unfortunately, no matter where you find yourself, once you separate black people and you start talking about certain things as a distinct group or distinct ethnic groups, unfortunately, it will start going down to name calling and you did this and your country can't do that and you don't have no culture and you don't have a house, whatever it might be, right? You're a goat herder or all this kind of stuff people say. It always goes, and we've seen that for years. So that's why you have to have a code. And unfortunately, yeah, so sometimes, and that's another. You're on the internet where people are using comedy and cussing as a way to get clicks. That sounds really problematic. Black leader fatigue, the brother says. Christian, I would say Turkey is more of an agent than Umar to me. Well, and that's so the word agent and the word grifter. These are words that we use, and I think I'm not saying these things are not true or can't be true, but I would like to have a kind of list of things we ask people where their answers. It's like we've got something here called Black Betterers, right? And that is if you practice Black Betterment, a lifestyle, helping Black people. If you practice it at the highest zenith, the highest thing, right? That means you're B1 in all areas of activity. But the three primals are Black economics, Black health, and Black family. So you can ask someone like, "What are your views on these things? Do you promote these? Are you for these? Are you trying to achieve these things?" If they say no, then you can say, well, because you said no, you wouldn't then be put in the Black Betterer context. You can practice Black Betterment in a entry level version, but in a more casual version. But you're not practicing a complete version. Thus, we couldn't give that title of a Black Betterer. And this comes from the whole this concept of having fundamentals comes from, if you type pro-Black in Google, it will say, can you be pro-Black and marry a white woman? And the fact that that's a big question shows that it is quite wishy-washy. But sometimes asking questions like this is that and here's how you achieve it makes things easier. And I think that's should be one of my goals to help work us through to really establish that. You should be able to hold on. I'm sorry, I think I've missed the whole conversation. Not sure about some of the Black activists speaking for Tory Robinson. Yeah, well, a lot of them, a few of them were speakers corner, I think. And I'm glad you said that because we're going to play a video now. And I'm going to stop it a bit. It's quite a long video and we won't get to the end. But we might, I don't know. But it's more so I want to give analysis, and it's connected to this concept of agents and grifters and all that. And for me, I like things to be definitive. Like, yeah, this is what the guy is. That's what he does, right? And also to like, if you call me a grifter, you call another person a grifter. He should, or we should be able to sit down and go yes or no, right? But what happens is people treat these names as name calling and they try to run away. So it's more so let's go. These activities do not benefit the community, and if you participate in them, we're not going to support. All right, let me give you some backstory. So there's this African brother. Let me see. I saw his video circling around. And let me If I play that video first, it might flavor the thing. So let me do this one. Is this one? Yeah. So you guys might know him because what's his name? Frank. Is that name? I think he's from Benin. Former Benin. Yeah, from Benin. I think. Could be wrong. But yeah, I saw a few videos circling around, and when I read the comments, he had a lot of black followers, a lot of black followers.
Hello and welcome to ZPR ZANU Project Rethink. My name is Frank Zano. I have another guest in the studio today, somebody you might have seen. Nancy Forville, the project manager for the town of Milford, is here with me. Nancy has appeared on past shows and some of you know her face. So I'm really, really happy to have.
So I think he might be based in America.
Nancy said she saw one of my episodes and just can't wait to point out what I missed about that episode.
Oh, so you guys have seen him before. Yeah, we want to pack him because, well, let me not say anything yet.
So she's in the studio with me, Nancy.
Well, bro has good points, but he basically wants us to, yeah. Well, let's unpack that. I won't ruin that.
Welcome to the studio.
Thank you, Frank.
Yes, as usual, you are always the best guest we have here at ZPR. You said you watched the episode where I said no black nation would ever develop.
Right.
And you thought...
So the brother just said, no black nation will ever develop. So there's a lot to unpack with. So I'm someone who, I understand performing arts. I also understand shock value. I also understand intelligent delivery and stuff. This brother definitely is a learned man, and he has intelligence around him. And to be honest with you, a lot of the things he says, we could accept them, right? Maybe. But what I want people to focus on is what motivates a person to say this. So the question I'm asking is, what is motivated? What is the end game? Why is a person saying this? That's important. And what does this person represent? Like, what does he stand for? And that these questions unpack whether you can have the grifter or agent kind of talk conversation.
I miss a point on Haiti, especially.
Well, yeah.
This sister's from Haiti, but she's probably in America, like American Haitian.
Haiti, as the first black country, always had the potential to become a great nation. Unfortunately, at the start of its historical start, Haiti had a lot of debts to pay to France. And so I think that was definitely a substantial reason why it couldn't develop.
Oh, I see. I thought I read that in the note, but I didn't get it clear. Mm-hmm. Sure, I've heard this from many Haitians I've spoken to, that Haiti got independence from the French, yes. But the French imposed a debt on them to pay. And that debt is what has prevented Haiti from becoming well developed or wherever it believed it could have been. Is that not true? Okay, so
that's definitely one of the reasons. Yes.
Right. What I do is I try to collect as much as information to examine or review the claim or the conclusion carefully to see does it hold water. And I will tell you right away that a lot of things I believe we have not considered, and that we've got stuck only on that one particular thing, which, if you ask me, it's not true at all. Has not played any role in making Haiti the way it is.
So, the sister started by saying that, Haiti, for those who know, was one of the first black nation to free themselves from enslavement and make themselves into an empire and a nation. But unfortunately, one of the agreements was they had to pay back a huge debt, which they only finished paying back a couple decades ago. And she's saying that all these things plus other factors have contributed to Haiti never really truly be able to develop in a way that would benefit Haiti. And he says, I disagree. I think actually it's a bit more than that. So, and what I'm saying is, when you're listening, rather than just being affected, always think like, who is he speaking for, and what does he stand for, and what narrative does he stay away from? So what I noticed is he'll focus on the shortcomings of the black nations, but he's not. He doesn't want to focus on what might have caused it. And at first, you might think there's that kind of stop blaming other people narrative, which I support a concept of. Not that you can't blame someone because people are worthy of blame, but you can't allow the truthfulness of blaming someone to demotivate you never to do anything. But he doesn't come from the angle. He comes from the angle they are not to blame. This is a normal thing, but you're just and insert a word that makes someone not able to do certain things. He reminds me of that other guy. There's a guy, they say he's the African Thomas Sowell, whatever. I think I said his name right. Similar kind of delivery. Also, that always the person people marry also says a lot about them from when it comes to talking about black issues. I do wonder who he's married. I would like to think he's with a woman from Benin, but I could be wrong.
Start by saying a few things that you need to consider.
Sure.
First, have you seen at all? Do the Haitians have any point of reference, a blueprint, a role model country that they've seen, they know that based on them, Haitians, this is what they could have become. What is it that they thought they could have become rather than what they are?
Well, I think Haitians, the Haitians gained their independence from the French, right? So I think our emperor, Jacques Dessalines, was part of the Haitian, was part of the French army. So I believe he looked at France as a blueprint for Haiti.
Well, isn't that a problem already in the first place? The
What?
people who colonize you are Europeans.
Are Europeans, yeah?
They have a different history, different language. Everything they built from their own language.
Yeah, but they colonized us.
Yeah.
And they showed us things.
They did.
Yeah.
Huh. Debt never makes a country poor. The United States alone is now $38 trillion. I think that the largest debt the United States owes is to Japan, if not Germany, and then China. And then private financial institutions across the world and private companies.
Okay.
It's the biggest deadbeat dad in the world, the United States of America. 38 trillion. Remember when Elon was working, one of the things they were trying to do is to find a way to generate money to pay away this debt. A country doesn't own a debt to itself from its own debt. So when they say the United States is in debt 38 trillion, it means different companies, different institutions, and countries. So it's Japan, Germany, and China.
Right,
but that doesn't make a country poor. No, it doesn't in any shape or form. A country makes a deal to pay debt in any form you can do it. Okay. Number two, that debt was paid away more than 100 years ago. That is true. People have been repeating this statement over and over without telling people that whatever debt it was paid away more than 100 years ago.
Yeah, but it's billions of dollars that they could have used to reinvest in their countries, but they had to give it back to France.
No, that is not true. And
It's
that's what I keep saying, that debt never cripples any country. It doesn't. The United States have debt. When independence happened in Africa, by 1978, over 30 African countries had to be forgiven debt.
Okay.
They still haven't built. They got poorer more than when they had a debt.
So you're saying it doesn't matter whether or not we paid it or not.
You see a pattern that no matter what someone says, he will focus on the black nation, and he will always focus on a element or a point where you can expand to say it's not good enough, or it was never good enough, or you're mistaken on that, right? I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but just focus on that, because you do see it does become as a one-sided thing. Now, harshness, it might be a good thing, is to be harsh because you want what's better, but then someone has to confess what they want to achieve and how they want to achieve it, and what loyalties they're connected to.
We were going to just be poor and be in poverty.
Yes, because I have plenty of evidence to show that.
Okay, so let's dive into it.
All right, so let's take a look at the Caribbean.
Okay.
The black countries in the Caribbean have one thing in common, which is all of you were brought from Africa as slaves, isn't it?
Okay.
and only you were poured either by the French, Spanish, English, or Dutch, different islands. So all of you arrived as slaves, which means all of you lost the same thing: culture, language, heritage, history, isn't it?
Sure. I can
Okay,
agree
show
with
me a Caribbean country which didn't have the depth, and therefore, because it didn't have the depth, it is now very, very, very well developed, as you said, to look like its former colonial country.
I don't have a particular country in mind.
No,
However,
let me repeat
however,
let me repeat the question.
however, okay, go ahead. Repeat the question.
My that's why I like you on the show. My evidence is very simple. I use many, many informations to inform and therefore be able to question a certain conclusion.
Sure.
The black countries in the Caribbean have one thing in common.
Yes.
Regardless when you got your independence, all of them were taken from Africa and poured in different islands.
Right.
They were colonized for a while.
Okay.
Then their colonials left.
Okay.
According to you, Haiti would have been like France if not for the debt. I agree with you.
Okay.
But then I want to shatter it, right? So I said, if that is the case, the remainder of the Caribbean black countries that are worse than Haiti but didn't have a debt. Why?
There's no Caribbean country right now that's worse than Haiti.
Well, you have violence and riot and those things. It's different shades, but I'm asking you.
But-
I'm asking you, which of the Caribbean countries has arrived at their dreamland of being developed like their former colonials because they didn't have a debt?
Okay, so I would say the Caribbean countries that got their independence after 1950s are still
No.
in
Which
good
one?
shape.
Which one
They're in-
has? Which one has reached their dream standard of becoming like their
So okay,
former?
so let's look at the ABC countries. Let's look at Antigua. These are Turks and Caicos. These are countries that got their independence later, after,
I understand.
and they're all.
I am simply.
you know.
All of them have passed the threshold of 25 years. Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, South Korea. 25 years, they are where they want to be. Everybody can see it clear. What I'm trying to say is a statement I'm refusing to make. I've been to the Caribbean, many countries. Okay, they all share the same thing. That's it.
Right.
They are all not advanced, developed countries.
They are.
None of them has been able to attain the status of their former colonial country.
No, we can't say Turks,
Okay,
and
so-
Caicos, Cayman Islands, Aruba.
The only
Look
place,
at these places;
the
they're
places-
well developed.
No. The places you're talking about are highly occupied by Western companies and rich men. Like my guest earlier was telling me, Antigua.
Yeah.
Antigua is
English,
only able.
the Dutch.
Antigua is able to function today because almost 90% of the economy and everything in Antigua is owned by foreigners.
I see.
Same with Same with Bahamas.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Any of the countries you're going to mention, it's because of the tourist attraction that are
So this is the pattern. You see how no matter what you mentioned, he heavily leans to try to find a way to disconnect it just to prove his point.
made retirees from the United States, Australia, England, buy homes and maintain things, restaurants, resort centers, hotels. That's what has made those places look a little different. Number two, you take Guadeloupe, for example. They were sensible enough to say, look, we don't have what it takes to build any.
So notice now he's going to, you see, he's giving somewhat of a compliment to a concept. And let's see what concept is what he's giving a compliment to.
Any country, we will remain to be part of France and they will help us. And that's why Guadeloupe has retained.
So remember, he's now giving a compliment. We're going to be smart enough to remain with the former colonizers. And that's why there's some kind of betterment that he's describing. So already you're now seeing a pattern of speaking. And this is the important for the final analysis I give.
A certain level of peace.
But right now, Martinique, Guadeloupe are struggling. They don't want to be part of the metropole.
That's correct. They're all trying to make the same mistake. So we've seen now that...
Mistake. So you're saying if they leave, they won't be able to maintain?
No. They will not be able. Guadeloupe is this relatively peaceful. I've met many of them because they were sensible enough to remain with France.
So they are peaceful. So he's equating economics and the way people behave and prosperity to being connected to the colonizers. Now, they're going wrong. Someone can say all this stuff and be correct and be for Black empowerment, right? And they have their own strategy of speaking, and I can support it. But what you're finding is this gentleman hasn't made any confessions of any form of Like, there's no acknowledgement of any wrongdoings and how that affects the people at all. And if whether that is in right or wrong or good or bad or anything, he stays well clear of this. So even though he's an African gentleman and he's well spoken and he's presenting some kind of facts, if you look on a deeper level, he's now closely more connected to extreme kind of European anti-black ideology, but coming from a well-spoken African gentleman who lives in the States and has a show that he wants you to subscribe to.
Sensible.
Yes.
So, okay.
Yes.
Sensible, saying that we don't want independence. Please take care of us.
Yes. We will come to the word independence. You will see. Number two, let me ask you, what did they bring the slaves to do in Haiti?
To not sharecrop, but to farm and to
sugarcane and banana plantations.
Yeah.
So if they were brought to farm sugarcane and banana plantations, what type of people do you think they brought from Africa? Technocrats? Lawyers, engineers?
No.
Who did they bring?
People who can work the land.
Yeah, deep rural people, right? They took a bunch of deep rural people from Africa, piled them on a ship, brought them to Haiti.
But I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know what type of slaves.
Yes, I know.
You know what type of slaves?
When they were buying slaves from Africa, there were no engineers, there were no lawyers, there were no medical officers, there were no technicians, there was nothing.
So
no one can even use a screwdriver. Nothing was built in Africa. Nothing in the name of modern day infrastructure. Zero. So the people they brought, Africa was known for only 3 industries. You know it. You've been to Benin. Africa was known for farming, fishing, hunting.
Okay.
So slaves that were bought from Africa.
Yeah, he made a very big statement that nothing was being Africa. So already, and if you try to name things, he'll then find a way to disassociate from Africa or different time zones or different tribes. He'll just say that.
To the United States was to farm, because that's what they were doing when they went there.
Okay.
So the ones brought to the Caribbean, they went.
Sister says it's not really hard to see his agenda. Yes, but when you go in his comment section, you see a whole lot of like, yeah, this gentleman, he speaks facts. It's hard to hear, but and some people don't, because usually when people are delivering this information, they're delivering it, unless they're of course white face people, like anti-black racists who fold their legs and speak quite quietly with them. But normally when you hear this kind of stuff, it's from an abusive standpoint and a mockery standpoint. He's managed to, there is mockery there, but he's managed to keep it in an eloquent kind of way. So you might see him, because here's what it is. If the place I live in is dirty, I have to admit it's dirty so I can clean it, right? But if I just go so if my cousin just goes, yeah, it's dirty, yeah, he has dirty. At some point, he's just mocking my house being dirty. But if he says, yo, mate, your house is dirty, we need to come there and clean it. Here's how I can clean it. If you clean it, it'll do this way. And that's what it is. He's actually not presenting any kind of solutions to his one-sided kind of challenges that he's highlighting. He's also not saying why people in that certain way, and how people who have gone through a certain experience, who's been through it for many times, might struggle when trying to find solutions, especially when the people put them there are continuously trying to oppress them as they're doing.
And they look at people who can withstand the sun. And
you said he's ignorant. I don't think he's ignorant. I think he's strategic. Now, I obviously don't want to jump to my conclusions of him, but I think there are motivations for him to be performatively ignorant, if you want to say it that way. But I think he's well aware of what he's saying and how it might generate clicks.
The heat and work long hours on the farm. That's what they brought to the Caribbean.
So
that's
the Europeans didn't just go and capture them. They actually were sold legitly.
Bro, are you going to talk about the Jamaican talk show with White Yardie and the channel? I haven't seen that. Is that something that happened recently? About a Jamaican show with the White Yardie and the channel. You say what? Hold on. You saying there's a Jamaican show where that English performative guy and that Chinese woman who always makes those videos, I'm assuming, have a show, and it's their show, and it's in Jamaica about Jamaica. Yeah, that's very interesting. That's very interesting. If that's what you're saying, I don't know about it.
I don't know. I don't know how the slave trade.
yeah, the sister is good sister, but she isn't really she yeah. I suspect he invites sisters and brothers. From what I've seen, he definitely invites sisters and brothers who are not necessarily there to challenge the data he's talking about. Yeah, send the link.
The only thing I know about. Go ahead.
However the slaves were sold, whoever you close your eyes and capture in Africa is a farmer, a fisherman, or hunter.
At that time.
At that time.
Okay.
That's it.
That we can revisit. I don't know the whole.
Listen, I'm telling you, whatever we call infrastructure in Africa today, in the body, was there because of colonials.
Okay.
Aqueducts, water systems to come through houses, hotels, hospitals, schools. You think that Africans imported materials with what currency? There was nothing. And this is what is wrong with Western education, that people don't understand the history of these places.
I thought Africans. I thought Africans had currency. I thought they had a currency.
No black country in the world has ever created a currency.
Of its.
Well, that's not true. They had currencies in East Africa, and also that I think he mentions it, but they had their kind of coral currencies at a certain point.
Of its own. Trade by barter. Were you not taught in school?
Yes, I was. Yes.
So trade by barter is
But
what?
I thought they had their own African coins that they.
No, never.
That they.
No, you need to have an industry to do that. Where did we smith those coins? Enough. What kind of currency? Currency is only when you are trading between two foreign countries from our way. So taxes are paid to the one who has the currency. No African country has what is called today modern day currency. Okay. So we were engaged in trade by barter. And then later on, Dahomey became the first, if I'm not mistaken, to use cowries. So you can count. You know cowries, the one they use for making art. That is the first currency.
Okay.
But limited to only about 3 tribes in West Africa.
Okay.
That's it. That is why, after independence, all the English countries in Africa, they had the queen's head on the money.
Bartering for the slaves, were we capturing them ourselves? Were we selling them ourselves?
Some, because Africa started evolving with tribal wars.
Okay.
And you must understand, even though the only thing African tribes have in common is skin color.
Okay.
Once you go to this tribe, it's a different language, different religion, different everything, food, everything.
Okay.
It's like you've been to China and France, except they were in the same region. Let people get this picture clear. It was a continent with only tribes. There was no republics. There were no countries. Modern day concept of what country means. There were no formal boundaries and borders.
So let's talk about Benin itself.
Yes.
How many tribes do you think were in Benin at that time?
About 50.
50 different tribes.
Yeah, or more, because
Or
some
even
of them
more.
now were brought into Togo when the artificial lines were drawn. Some are into, but you can't say Benin because there was no Benin. You can say the region. You see what I mean?
I see.
It was a region that stretched all the way from the Nile River in Nigeria all the way to Ghana.
I understand.
Just a region. There's no name for anybody. There was nothing like Benin, Nigeria, Ghana. No.
But there was a concept of Dahomey.
That's correct. That's a tribe.
Ah.
So you see how he's quite, how he's trying to sum up certain things where he's saying, it's not even a country, it's just tribes and this and where it's true or not, the playoffness, the way he's brushing things off as, they're not even organized enough to call themselves a country, this kind of stuff, right? And then having definitions really matter in this context.
And Bome became Dahomey. That's one tribe of very brutal guys with pot belly, married 200 wives, and they call them chiefs.
So once again, he's now just negatively describing a nation. He hasn't negatively described Europeans or anything like that. But the Africans, he's negatively described them. So you're seeing a pattern here.
And they were trying.
Or kingdoms.
The foreigners named it kingdom because that is the only word they know from where they were coming from Europe. But there was no kingdom. We are not kingdoms. It's any pot-belly guy marrying many women with his family beating the other small tribes. And they were describing them based only on the word they know, the Europeans. Say, these people.
So, we understand how authorities work and what he's now trying to undermine how authorities work.
It was kingdom. It was only chiefs. We never had kings in Africa.
I understand.
You understand? All right. So the point I'm making is they came to an area which was a region, no countries. Nobody was bought from a country. So because of the tribal wars, Agbome beat all the smaller tribes. so they can absorb them for assimilation so they can grow bigger.
I see.
The Zulus did it. The English did it. Chinese did it. The bigger you can absorb people, then you become stronger economically, militarily, and on and on. You understand?
Yes.
So every tribe, the bigger ones who are bullies, the Yorubas did it to smaller tribes. The Abome, not the whole, did it to smaller tribes. The smaller tribes became happy when colonization happened because that was the only time the bullying stopped and
So
they were all forced to become countries. So I'm saying
So he says they were the ones who are being bullied are happy when colonization starts. See what you're saying?
to you, when Abome fought little tribes and absorbed the people,
I've downloaded the video. So I might watch it and have a listen. I thought we've got enough time. So we'll listen to this, brother, for maybe 10 more minutes. I'll give my analysis, and then we'll look at that video, the Jamaican.
they can sell them to the Portuguese and collect whiskey, collect gunpowder.
Okay.
So when people are saying you sold your own people, it's a lie. If war breaks out in Europe and Italians captured Russians, they are all Caucasians, isn't it? Or the English captured Italians, they are Caucasians, and sold them away to the Chinese. Have the English sold their own people?
No.
Exactly. That's what happened in Africa. Tribes who looked different from another tribe, spoke different language, captured each other and sold. They didn't sell each other.
For the intent of slavery of what we know now.
Yes.
Of the impacts of it. It's not
They
like
didn't know where they were taken to, but as long as we captured them in war, and you've promised to give me a mirror, you've promised to give
because
me...
you're my slave, I can...
Yes, I can give you to anybody I want.
This is just a trade.
That's correct. Okay?
Yeah.
So there's many big empires in Africa at the moment. I was going to play a video in that time, but they're trying to get the map to be redone because they've made Africa smaller. But there were empires in Mali, Ghana, Songhai, you name it, Kush, whatever, right? All over Africa that were kingdoms connected by kingdoms becoming empires. And this is in a place that's bigger than the rest of the world, pound for pound. So not only were there kings, there were king of kings, which they call, well, king of kings, I guess, emperors, sorry, right? And empresses and all that. So once again, he's rushing over these things because he wants to add no value on when an African-based country does it.
You must understand what they were buying. They were buying very, very uncivilized people.
So now he's saying that the people who captured were uncivilized, you see.
At the time, there was no modern day infrastructure. They have never seen anything. Fishermen, farmers, and hunters.
And
That's
when you're
it.
saying uncivilized to the Western folk.
They don't have universal concept. Yes.
Okay, because you're kind of sounding like they're barbaric people from the jump. They're not.
Whatever you want to describe it, I'm just trying to give you a picture so you can understand why it was so easy for the Europeans to say, these are the people we will take away. You got to look at their condition and ask yourself, can these people really work and live? So what I'm describing, it has to be severe for you to understand why they brought them to do the farming. They got to find them in a condition that they know only people in that condition will survive in farms in another tropical region.
So, the people who listen to this gentleman and they're like, oh, he speaks so well. And obviously, and what I'm going to have to be doing is come up with questions to ask. So, like I said, this gentleman, I'll quickly give you my kind of like analysis. So I wrote this down the other day, like doing a case study, the motivation behind the impact. There we go. Yeah. So first of all, you realize he doesn't say any solutions, and the solutions he does say are not really solutions like go become recolonized, give up your rights, that kind of stuff, right? So no real solutions. He specialized in highlighting shortcomings of Africa or Black roots, right? He never mentions or underplays the importance of outside influence. So he would describe people being in a position, but he doesn't necessarily explain how they got there and why that is a big factor and why people might struggle to get from A to B. He also finds a weakness in a progressional idea. So whenever you try to give you some progressional idea, he's going all over the houses to find a weakness in it. Trust me, you can find a weakness in the most in anything, right? and you can exploit that and make go, oh. So that he's definitely dedicated to that, and also never confess loyalty. This is the most important one. Never confess loyalty to black unity or leadership or marriage. So I don't know, and then asking. This is why I think asking those questions are key. When someone is talking black, and Africa, ask them what is your connection with black people? What are you willing to do for and with black people? And what are the rules you're willing to follow in order for black people to progress? What's your views on black love? What's your views on black economics? What's your views on black health? Right? And then the answer I give will show, but then you'll find that actually a lot of these people, they have been raised in anti-black propaganda or whatever, and they live in forums that are dedicated to undermine black progress. And more importantly, more so from the shock jock angle, this gentleman, I assume he's in America, he lives there, I think, and I don't know how he makes his money, but something I heard him do on some of the other ones was say subscribe and whatever. So that means he's asked people to do certain things, so he's committed to get views. So it isn't a stretch to say that what might be motivating this is I've got to show what kind of content can I make that will go viral and will get people constantly coming, and that is, you in an elegant way undermine black progress and actually downplay by saying black people haven't done anything and they can't do anything. And me being a black person, I can't be shut down because I'm from the country that I'm describing. You see? So that could be, I suspect,
which is the Caribbean.
So these are the farmland people who are distributed all throughout the Caribbean.
That's correct.
Haiti.
Yes. Mm-hmm. There were no technocrats in Africa. There were no engineers, doctors, painters, dancers, and stuff like that.
Historical.
It was only chiefs. We never had.
Hold on, sorry about
that. That is a local innovation by Haitians using French.
Hold on.
Use the 1/4 English or French.
So I skipped the mic.
The Spanish.
Trying to find where it was.
At the time, there was no modern day infrastructure. They have never seen anything. Fishermen.
I'm just going to
the only time Haitians
let's go back.
The Spanish as slaves, and then later on sold together with the country to the French.
Okay.
And the only time Haitians would begin to read and write was when they were colonized by the French. Because the French have to build schools for them.
Okay.
So can you ask yourself, how long ago did Haitians begin to speak French?
They started speaking French
when the first school was built. It was built only so that you can educate the slaves enough for them to understand instruction.
Okay.
They did not put them in school to teach them business administration, medicine, nothing like that. Same as it was going on in the continent of Africa. The reason the colonials introduced their language to be taught, because they wanted the locals to understand instruction, to do basic duties.
Right.
So that is what they taught Haitians. And you think you can take the country from the French and use the 1/4 English or French they've taught you to run the country. Let me ask you, what were Haitians speaking when they arrived in Haiti?
African dialects.
Of different kinds.
Of different kinds.
That's why they developed Creole.
You could spin a narrative any way you want. He's trying to say that, they don't speak their own language and they speak Creole, and they've only learned a certain amount to keep them occupied as enslaved people. But what you have to observe is, in Haiti, there is many different ethnic groups coming together, and in a short amount of time, they managed to create a communicative language so that all of them could communicate because they're all from different places. That requires organization and intelligence, you see? But obviously, that's not the area the brother wants to focus on.
How old is Creole?
I would say Creole is about
120 years most.
No, actually, no, maybe 200 years.
Okay. So it's a...
He also states from the fact that they were organized enough to destroy the biggest army on the planet.
It's a language...
And create an empire.
Very limited in nature.
Very limited? Yes.
Okay.
Yes and no at the same.
So
yes.
for any place to be functional, you need industrialization for the place to be functional. Industrialization requires innovation. Is that not correct?
Yes, but I believe Haitians can.
I understand. I am
speak
saying industrialization requires innovation.
Yes.
Innovation requires language.
Yes.
I'm gonna go to the comment section of his and just ask if there's anyone who thinks this gentleman is really saying something smart. They come on the show. Be good to pick their brain.
So in what language do Haitians innovate?
We would innovate in Creole.
Creole?
Well, currently we innovate in French. Like we
French.
write. We write things down in.
You
if-
innovate in French. So what local innovations do we have in Haiti?
Well, we would anything that is done on a business level, which would be what we considered innovation level.
No, that's not
would-
innovation. That is a medium of communication, business level, in service industry. I'm asking.
So in service industry-
real innovation. Yes.
So in all of our service industry, we speak French.
Okay.
Whether it's in politics,
So
whether it's business.
name one or two
we
things you
serve in-
believe that is a local innovation by Haitians using French, and is now being exported worldwide.
We don't have anything.
You don't have
Not
any.
that I know of.
That's correct. Number two, the people who were brought from Africa to Haiti, from the history you know, and you have visited Benin, their ancestors, is there any one of them whose ancestors has ever run a country?
No.
But you ask the French to give you a country to run. And you're surprised
Because
now.
we didn't want to be slaves anymore.
I understand. That is not the point I'm trying to make. I'm just trying to point to you the number of informations I've collected to understand why Haiti will be the way it is. Nothing is wrong with it. It's bound to be this way. Number one, none of the slaves that were brought from Africa has ever witnessed, experienced, or understand how to run a country, because no ancestor in Africa has ever run a country.
Right.
They have led tribes in a very customary level.
Okay.
But now you are brought to a place that has been organized to imitate the colonials with infrastructure, schools, roads, you name it. And you ask that to be given to you because you can run it.
Yeah, at the time.
With what?
I don't think we believe.
So once again, these are not arcs. These are people who got their freedom through rebellion because they were enslaved.
Believed at the time that we could run it.
No,
I think the
You did-
goal
no,
was
you
to just be.
And many of the Haitian revolutionary were well literate and had libraries and read books, and that's why they could organize as well.
Free. We were done with slavery.
And at no point when they were free were they not worried about the French and the English and the Spanish, and they were trying to reinvade again. Hence why they built a castle on top of a mountain.
We were just done with it.
So,
But it's not. But
So if
but you're
you
right.
knew-
Did
yeah.
we know that we can actually run a country, maintain things, and set policy and think of the future? No, I think we were just so stuck on just being free from the.
I understand.
From our colonial.
yes, I understand. So why are you guys making up excuses to the way you are? You just said
So they're making up excuses.
Why
it.
are we making?
You knew you couldn't have run a country because you've never run a country. Running a country is not simply a group of citizens living in a place and somebody says good morning and sing national anthem. It's a very complex, culturally based. The platform, the foundation has to be there culturally.
Right.
For you to have a political system on that culture, to have a religion, a language, you name it, a history that is one, uniform to everyone that is there, and acceptable and
They have a uniform culture. They speak the same name. They share the same history as the first people to liberate themselves. You see, and they're all based in the same place in Haiti. They have the same food. They look the same diversity. Blah blah blah. Once again, if you change what you're saying, it doesn't really make sense.
understood, recognized by everyone. You don't have any of these things. Wait, you just emotionally begged
no,
for
I-
a country to be given to you.
I am agreeing with you because our forefathers, yes, we gained the independence, but also I feel like we were also writing it all, creating it all in our heads. And it was just, we got our independence too early. We weren't prepared for it. And nor did we know how to maintain or even take care of a country or even know how to set it in stone
So I'm just saying.
yeah.
Then why are you making excuses for why you are the way you are? Debt never causes a place to be dirty.
Yeah.
Basic maintenance of cleaning a street, a city, a town. Debt doesn't cause people to kill each other. No, it doesn't.
No, I'm just thinking.
Okay. I am trying to pack for you a lot. Now, what I am explaining about Haiti goes for every single black Caribbean country too. They also did the same thing. They asked for countries to run they have never run before. What I'm explaining about Haiti has to do with every single African country. Nobody in Africa, at least sub-Saharan Africa, whose great-great-great-great-great-grandfathers have ever seen a country with their eyes, let alone manage, administer, run.
So he's highlighting black people now, sub-Saharan Africa and the Afro-Caribbeans, right? And he moves on to talk about African Americans. So he has this fixated things on black people in general.
Run it. None has ever created a political system that is authentic to the people who live in it. None. None. We don't have the concept of political systems. We don't have the concept of economic systems. Yet colonials came to build a country within a short time, install it the same way they know from where they came from. The buses, the bus stops, the roads, clinics.
Once again, as he talks about building a country, he's not talking about what motivates them to build.
Schools, churches, all these they build. But you foolishly ask them to give you something you don't know how to run. It reminds me of an analogy I have created and I keep using.
And that is?
A guy came with an airplane big enough to take 400 people.
Okay.
Took natives from a land into the plane.
Okay.
The people managed to jump the pilot, the co-pilot, and the junior engineer, kill them all.
Why did they do that?
They want to be free, like you said. Haitians were struggling to be free. That's all.
So can you see how the analogy makes no sense? The analogy is a man takes people from somewhere on a plane and they kill the pilot. Not that the man, these are kidnapped people who are tortured and every daily and kidnapped from their land and stripped of every piece of humanity they can have, are trying to be free, regardless of whether they're on a plane, a boat, a parachute. They want freedom. But once again, he has no interest in going down that route and even praising them for even being able to overthrow the enslavement.
All we care is to be free.
Okay.
So now they've killed the pilot, the co-pilot, and the engineer.
Okay.
Only then they turned around and said, does anybody know how to fly this thing?
Okay.
Nobody knows how to fly that thing.
So I do a lot of public speaking and debates and stuff. So the average person might be entertained by those kind of analogies, but someone like myself and other people clearly on the platform wouldn't go for it. And he's already shown it. The reason I'm saying is because he's already shown his hand earlier and there that he really is, and he's elegant anti-black. I think we covered this last week where it was, what was the topic last week? Anti-black enablers. Yeah. So this is part of that, and the anti-black enablers, where this is the content that anti-black people will use, and they'll quote him by name. Go, yeah, but what about so and so? He said, that black people, they can't even do this, they can't even do that.
Right.
That's it.
I'm not laughing. I hope your audience forgives me. I'm not laughing because of.
And we're going to listen to a Jamaican video that Sister Kush has given us soon. Just the last 2 minutes here that we'll jump across.
It's a funny joke, but it is a very good analogy to the point where it's the truth, and that's.
It's a very bad analogy. It's almost like me saying, you leave out valuable points of content and go, you just killed the pilot. The pilot was flying you to hell. He was flying you to hell. So it's like, okay, well, let's kill him and see if we can land it on our own because we're going to hell. Anyone can take an analogy and flip it.
That's why I laughed. So
Yes.
I hope your audience
I understand.
doesn't.
And this for me I'm from Benin Republic. I'm an African as it can get. Anybody can say anything they like. I'm trying to. No, this is what has delayed, quote, our development. And children are dying. Women are dying from curable disease. Women are dying at birth, giving
Starvation.
birth. Starvation, wickedness, violence. And it has degraded us to the point that when we travel outside, people look down upon us.
That's what I think this brother's trauma life started from. I think he's educated himself in a certain place, sees a value in being around certain kind of other groups, and he's been tarnished with these stigmas that are what they call, what's that, not typecast, what do you call it, stereotypes, and this kind of stuff. And he's deeply wounded. Could be wrong, he can defend himself, but I wouldn't be surprised if that might have gone on just by the way he's wording things. Could be wrong though.
Because no one is willing to ask the hard questions to the answers we've been giving. So, African leaders got independence. Within 3 years, they recognized we don't know how to fly this plane. Mm-hmm. But as it is,
see, Raven humanizes and romanticizes Africa because of his gap in his knowledge of Africa firsthand. Kudos for the effort. So I said you must be a disciple of this gentleman here. Am I right?
About Africans, ego is far bigger than intellect. They couldn't confess to the masses. So do you know what they did? They coined a term immediately and said, guess what? We got independence from colonials, but there is neo-colonization going on. They didn't leave. Mm-hmm. They are still lurching in the dark. So the word...
So really what he said there, he said that neo-colonization is a fairy kind of a concept that has no weight to it. This is where you're being colonized by proxy, by foreign governments.
Neo-colonization began to grow from one person to the other.
And now, for us, I don't think that CNN Daily is you. You have different approach to your comments.
And now everybody is using it, saying the reason Africa is still the way it is because of neo-colonization. There is no such thing. Nkrumah created that when he knew after 3 years, he doesn't know what he asked for. Same with you, same with every black country. I repeat, no sub-Saharan citizen's father, great-great-grandfather has ever had the concept and run the country. Never. A country is not just a place full of human beings. Complex. But the people have to have a uniform culture to form the foundation, followed by a uniform language, a uniform heritage, ethnicity, history,
and everything. He doesn't have that.
And then have to proclaim, we the people, this is what we want to preserve. None of you, both on the mothership, which is Africa, and in the Caribbean, right. You made your boogeyman to be debt. The Jamaicans made the Babylonian system to be the reason. South Africans made apartheid to be their reason. West Africans made neo-colonization to be their reason. Black Americans made racism to be their reason. But when you look around, every one of us uniformly are in the same condition because you ask for something you don't have any clue.
Once again, he's got a video saying racism doesn't exist, white supremacy doesn't exist. So this is, he's obviously been thoroughly educated in that way of living or thinking, and that's placed him into the anti-black enablers.
How to run it. Number 3, what is your role model country you've seen for black country that didn't?
So CNN Daily, don't know where are you from again, CNN Daily? Yeah, you so you might be tapping into like anti-black behavioral patterns. I suspect you're not black. I think you mentioned that last time.
We have the depth with France, in Africa, in UK blacks, in the United States, that you say, you see?
I try to, obviously, if you're going to be here, try to be respectful if you can. I don't like blocking people and stuff like that because it becomes hard to unblock them. Not that you should be unblocked anyway. But yeah, this is a pro-black kind of space, so yeah, this inferior kind of stuff. I don't know, where are you from? Would it be interesting to know so we can case study?
This ones here didn't have the depth. See how they have grown to what we want to be. So which one are you guys going for?
Not one country in Africa, because they're all in the development.
So yeah, so like I said, one thing is this gentleman doesn't confess any kind of loyalty, any kind of ideology that is connected to black people. He gives no solution outside of recolonize yourself and this kind of stuff. Do I, saying someone's an agent, or I can do it, but I think more importantly, I think a lot of these people that yes, you could say this is agent behavior, but I think it's more so grifting in the sense of click through stuff, shock value, get paid, That's what it is. But I could be wrong, but I suspect that's what it is. Can hold a timer. There's only so much. Is it such? How do you do all that? I don't know how to do all that. Oops, they didn't move that away. Yeah. Anyway, so what I'm going to stop him there. I'm going to place. We've downloaded the content that Sister Christy gave. So yeah. So conclusion of this gentleman. We might look at more. There was another video. There was another video I had. That was 1 second of video, but it pretty much highlights more so the pattern. So this is like a clip.
Immigrant here want Haiti to become the majority in this country?
Why are you so worried about the white dispossession of America?
Because I want my people to survive.
So the fact is, I don't know if he clipped this, but he's using, I forgot this person's name, but he's like the soft-spoken, most extreme white supremacist. He's been debated by many people and whatever. But what's his name? I forgot his name now. But the fact he might be the person who this African gentleman looks towards for guidance.
Is that so strange? We don't control China. We don't control any place where whites are not a majority. And if we become a minority, we will not control our own destiny anymore.
Why would you be concerned of the dispossession? And you are saying what?
Don't we all live in America? Whites, blacks, Asians. Why would you be so concerned that power, you're not going to have it anymore just because of what?
I think we would take away the Trump part. A president is not going to stop the dispossession of white America. But I think the central thing in this argument they had was that the white gentleman is concerned that with the rate of birth, and many people have said this, that there will come a time, if it's not slowed down, there will be the dispossession of white America. And he went on to say, the reason I'm concerned is because...
So now he's going on to defend the fears of a European, but whether the Europeans' fears are justified or not, the fact is he's going out of his way to defend it, and that shows you where his mind might be synchronized.
Then my children would have no legacy and culture left in this country. And I don't see anything wrong at all with.
So he saw many things wrong with black people trying to progress and recovering from white supremacy. But when a white supremacist says he doesn't want people to mingle and have people from other countries in his country, to which he is one, this gentleman, he doesn't seem to remember it.
What he's saying. So they say when a tree falls into a river, it doesn't become a fish. Now, I'm a naturalized American, but I'm not going to say that I'm an American. I'm American politically, but not culturally. White people, the founding fathers of this country, were of the same uniform background, WASP, white Anglo-Saxon Protestants. They have a culture, a religion, a language, a history, and they want to protect it. This is the home of their children. This is what they built for their children, and you came in as a guest. The guest...
No, they came as an enslaved person.
Will never take over a house. Never happened. Number two.
And part of the process of building the nation full of wasps.
I really would support the white man, okay, for the dispossession of white, as he's saying, because you see, he's trying to protect you and I.
So there's a commitment now. So when he gave all those videos before about black people being rubbish and not too good and can never do anything, he was never committed to anything. But now he says, I support. So already he's placing his support for this idea.
Because if this country falls into the hands,
so it's very he's like the African Jesse Lee Peterson, I guess.
The majority of the wrong people.
And there is money in that. There is money in that. Like I said, in Speaker's Corner, one of the first time I saw people get paid was a gentleman who would come and try to talk against black progress. And I used to see white supremacists giving him a whole lot of money in his streaming. They beat him up afterwards, unfortunately, but the fact is, they paid him.
People, whatever attracts us to come here will be gone, and we will never be able to come here.
Saying that immigrants wouldn't be able to sustain America or sustain civilization? Is that what you're saying? That we don't have the capacity to do that?
Well, I'm not saying it. I'm only describing it. Have you taken a look at Haiti recently? Would you, even as an immigrant here, want Haiti to become the majority in this country?
I mean,
have you taken a look at some of the...
Haiti's too small to become a majority anyway.
African countries, Somalia, Sudan, South Sudan, Liberia, Sierra Leone, and all these countries
name a black country
that are flocking to come to this country. If they could maintain where they are to look like this place, then they wouldn't be flocking here, right? So the point the gentleman is making actually is in my interest, in the interest of people from outside who should still have an America.
So this is interesting because he speaks like a lot of those kind of. This is the last analysis we'll do on him, but like people, like the Latin community who voted for Trump and this kind of stuff, like they're escaping a place that they don't like, and they don't want their people in mass to come from there because they don't want to look like the place that they've escaped from. And this is the left they'll go to.
They can come.
But there's a saying, the white supremacist breaks their tools. So you might think you're doing the favor for the white supremacist stuff, but once you've done it, they end up breaking their tools.
But you're only describing developing countries, right? You talked about Haiti, you talked about Somalia, you're talking about other developing countries.
Well, you can see undertone what he's saying. He will be
Well, he also mentioned Middle Easterns. He also
yes, exactly.
He doesn't like he doesn't appreciate, I guess, Asians, Middle Easterns, blacks,
yes,
or anybody who's not white. So
that
you're
would
saying
dispossess
that
his race. Yes,
saying that because immigrants are coming into this country, that they wouldn't be able to maintain the white picket fence, the greenery. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, to that, and I don't have to look very far away at all. Have you taken a look at any black neighborhood in America recently, starting with Boston, starting with Detroit?
I understand those are cities that are failing.
Exactly. Now, if imagine.
So bringing it on the black people, we're not putting responsibility or accountability on the city or anything like that.
A city is made up of those people. A city is only with people that live in it. A place is only as good as the people who live in it. Yeah,
so you understand. He's really painting the picture. But we'll move on. We'll move on to the video that Sister Kush gave. I think I put it in there. There we go. I don't know what it's about, so I'm watching it the first time myself. But there's no copyright music.
Folks, Jamaica is a culturally diverse nation, but how much does our society really embrace non-black Jamaicans? My mom was one. Comedian Harry Gregory, a.k.a. White Yardy, and producer and director Lorna Chin join us now to share their experiences. Good morning to you both. Welcome to Smile. How are you guys?
Good morning.
All right. Lorna, tell me what are your thoughts? Because we keep saying out of many, it is our motto, out of many one people, and some people live by that and said we have the Chinese and we have the Indians and we have everyone here and we are just so loving and nice, but maybe not with everyone. Is that so?
I live in a bubble, apparently, and I didn't even know that we had this problem until maybe two and a half years ago. That's the honest to God truth.
And when you say we didn't know you had this problem, what do you mean by this problem?
I don't think it's a secret in Jamaica that I was attacked online for not being black, and it obviously took me by surprise. It was totally. I would have to say it came onto left field. I had no idea that was even an issue.
Tell us what happened, Lorna. What happened?
I was talking to one of my friends on Instagram, and I wrote KMT on it. And she's supposed to be half Jamaican. So when she calls me up on the phone, she goes, "Hey, you keep writing KMT. What does that even mean?" She and I got into it, and she says, put a poll up, ask your friends. You just made that up. And so I did a poll. And then I remember going to sleep. My husband was not home. His father was very sick, and he had left that same day. And my phone is getting I'm like, oh, it's an emergency. I have to answer my phone. And I pick up the phone. It wasn't ringing. It was Instagram going off nonstop throughout the night. And then I'm like, oh, crap, I'm going viral. So, just for speaking in my native accent. And I wasn't even speaking in patois. I was speaking in English.
So people just thought you did not have the license to do that because you're not black?
Yes.
Is it that you're not black or were they questioning your Jamaican
Sorry, sis, for leaving it late.
heritage, or were they saying, you don't black? Or the two are mutually exclusive? Or was it both?
I'm going to be honest. It's simply because I didn't appear to be black.
Gotcha.
We can listen to it now and unpack it next week. Pack it today a bit, or just give it time to marinate. We're just going to listen.
Wow. And so how did that make you feel living? I mean, you're born here. right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how did that make you feel? We'd hear this thing all our lives, out of many one, and all the cultures that meld to make Jamaica what it is. And here you are going through this. Does that make you question the motto and question the reality you've been living for however long?
I do not question the motto. I realize that there are.
The sister said she was abused for not being black. I don't think that's how it works. I think the behavior she did is what triggered. I remember her as well. I remember the kind of patronizing thing she was doing, like flashing her passport, like if you ain't got one of these, you can't speak. All this kind of stuff.
Multiple interpretations of the motto, and that's because.
And once again, like this is tapping into shock jock kind of territory where you say shocking things and get click throughs, and then this is part of it, complaining and say I don't know what's going on.
If I find that you're not hostile and you're not a troll and that you're not insane, I'm going to entertain an argument, a discussion. Sorry. I love a good discussion because I like learning new perspectives because, like I said, I was living in a bubble and I didn't know that. So I met a young man. I'm not sure how old he is, I should say, but I met a gentleman and I determined that he was not crazy and that he wasn't stupid. So he and I got into an argument and he said, the motto doesn't mean what you think it means. And I go, look, I passed high school. I placed first in social studies, not once, twice. And I'm pretty sure I know my Jamaican history very well. What do you think it means? And he said, the motto means out of many African tribes, we are one African tribe. Oh. And therefore, I kid you not, and therefore, if you are not black, it does not apply to you. And I asked him, where did he learn this? He said he learned it in school. So Ministry of Education, you need to fix that. That's the truth.
I was today years old when I learned that's what I mean.
Well, I still don't know that is what it means.
Wow.
Harry, what about your story, my friend? So you were born in England, then you came home and you're back in England. So what's your story?
My story is basically what you say. You know, my mother and father, they've been living in Jamaica for many years. And, when my mother was pregnant with me, she did make the decision to go to England or come to England to give birth because she had a miscarriage before me and she was worried because she was at high risk of, something could go wrong. And she made the decision. And once she made the decision, 3 months later, so I was born in 1984 and in 1985. The beginning, I went back to Jamaica. Well, went to Jamaica to live until 18. So that's my story.
Have you been given a hard time? You're going like he's a Jamaican, you're not a Jamaican, and kind of foolish.
Listen, man.
Talk and Have you been?
I'm gonna be real with you. You see this whole situation. It's a country me growing up. So St. Elizabeth me grow, Black River, and country. I know have a different way of life to like Kingston and probably even Montego Bay more as well because that's the major cities. In a country life, it's very different, Nobody, when me there at Jamaica I live, at no point in my life, nobody made me feel different. I never stand out. Nobody treated me give me no special treatment because of how me look or my skin complexion. When I go to school, there are times when beating I go on to school, so teachers beat me same way as them not look for me and say, we not go beat him, I'm red and it's easy to, them not do them something that them beat me same way, discipline me the same way. So my life upbringing is the same like any Jamaican child growing up from the 80s, go all the way up to the 2000s. And that's my life. I only realize certain things or come across certain words and situations when I left Jamaica. That's when I start to realize there's...
So both this gentleman and this translator just admitted that living in the country, they had a good time and they were well loved and respected. It's interesting because the irony of life is when you look at he's from England and she's from China. And when you look at the psychology of black people being in those countries and what happens, it's quite a different story when it comes to how people are treated in those lands.
There's an issue with you being yourself.
Where was the issue? When you went to the UK or was it with Jamaicans?
No, man, UK. So
in the UK, okay.
Yeah, okay. So majority of the issues that I have encountered is always from people who born outside of Jamaica.
Gotcha.
But they might. I'm not gonna say them not Jamaican. I'm saying maybe them great grandparents are Jamaican, or somewhere down the line.
Jamaican heritage.
And not sometimes not even Jamaican heritage. Them just have some Caribbean roots somewhere, or sometimes them not have none of that. But it's just them not like to see it. That's what it is.
And what are they trying to tell you? That because you're light skinned and you don't live there?
Yeah, you cannot be Jamaican. Right. You can't. No, that is the thing. And what I go back to say is that in Jamaica, we not see that. That's not you grew up in the area, the community, everybody know each other. We all one people. You understand? We all treated the same. Like I did a podcast recently where I was discussing racism, and I was saying, like, me personally didn't even know about racism. Even the word itself, me never know about it until I come to England. And people will say, yeah, but because you're white. No, but I'm just saying it's not something that is
He's a white person. He's English. He's ethnically English, born in England because his parents didn't want to give birth in Jamaica, so they brought him to England. But both his parents are ethnically English.
Focal point in Jamaica.
He's not light skinned. Yeah, the funny one.
Jamaica, where we learn about this and you see it doesn't happen. Yes, I know in certain places. That's why I say country and in the city it's kind of different. Yeah. Because in the city, I know that them say businesses will hire people based on them complexions and stuff like that.
Classism and colorism.
Class in a country, we all one, man. We all one.
Lorna, how much does this bother you, if it bothers you at all? I mean, I said earlier, and Sim knows, my mother is a high color Jamaican.
Lily white.
I'm tired for people tell me, me never know you're so brown. Sometimes I have to take off my shoes and ear, and everybody say, no, man, you need to go to the beach, man.
But you do.
You hear it?
Sorry.
You're too white. Does it bother? Because it doesn't bother me. When them say that, I say, I don't know Mr. Brown. I don't know. I have to ask my mother or my father. I don't know. I'm not paying myself.
No, it actually doesn't bother me at all. I've never experienced this in Jamaica, ever. So what happened was, like I said, completely out of left field. So if I don't see myself like that, you can call me anything you want. I'm just not going to identify with that.
Harry, do they have a problem with your moniker? Is white yardie an issue for them too? Because some people feel like Jamaicans don't have light-skinned color people. Like when they see like white people coming out of Jamaica, they're like, oh my gosh, white people live there?
I mean, some people have questioned the name, very few. And let me be very clear. It's a very minority set of people, a very small. It's not like a big group of people. Because if it was, I wouldn't be as successful as I am today and doing what I'm doing. You understand what I mean? But you have to understand.
But this is now Jamaican national, I assume TV or YouTube, I don't know. Both this gentleman and the Chinese woman are very successful in their thing. This is what I'm saying. There is no too much reverse of the story of this. The best case study is go look at black people walking in China trying to do a similar kind of thing about being Chinese. See what happens.
And this is what I talk about this in my comedy as well, is that if you're from Jamaican culture, you know people give you a name based on how you look and your appearance.
That's right.
How me get the name White Yardie was given to me. I know me come up with the name. Them see me, them say, yo, where you come from? Jamaica. Oh, he's a Yardie. Yeah, man. But you're white. You're White Yardie. That's it. Simple as that.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for sharing your stories this morning. And it is still around. As I said, I get it regularly, but I'm good with it.
Oh, Jamaicans through and through, you both are, though. And from you open your mouth, Ari, we know exactly where you come from. Yeah, not only do we know say it's not town.
I'm talking better these days. What's up? I used to chat what's up.
Jesus Christ.
All right.
Patois, rich and nice. We love that for you. Thank you so much to the both of you. We proudly claim you as our own. Motto means what the motto means. It means that several people came here, settled here, lived here, and they all make us the beautiful nation that we are. So thank you, Lorna Chin, producer and director, and comedian Harry Gregory, a.k.a. White Yardie. Finish?
I guess me is the brown yard is still to come on the other side of the break. The Gold Winning Festival piece, folks. Stay with us, please. Soon come. The brown.
Interesting. Okay. Boy, I mean, look. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think I don't know about the white yardie guy, but I definitely know about the Chinese lady and her behavioral pattern online when she was waving the passport around, and she was saying, you guys, and it's very similar to there was that guy who came on holiday. He's a white kind of bashment or whatever it is, and he was saying that he's more Jamaican because he stayed in Jamaica than some sisters who are Jamaican ethnically, whatever. Yeah, whatever. We can unpack this another time. Yeah, but yeah, it was good watch there. But the thing is, look, I'm all for the Caribbean being inclusive and kind and nice, and you can always do a case study of how people go to the Caribbean and they're treated very well, and the opposite isn't true when the Caribbean go other places. But I think, I do think. Well, I don't know. Sometimes someone tell me what the argument is. You're a citizen, isn't it? If you got a passport, you're a citizen. I'm just not. I'm not going to sit down and argue with people. But your ethnic group is something different, isn't it? English is an ethnic group. Afro-Caribbean is an ethnic group. Black people is a racial group that to which the Black Jamaicans are the founders of Jamaica. That's what it is. And as long as you're respectful, whatever, no one cares. But I think it's when things become disrespectful is where it becomes an issue, and you definitely see disrespect. But no matter what we say, it's never equal. Like their stories didn't seem harsh at all. But I can tell you the black man in England historically and the black man and the black people in China have had it much harder than any white person anywhere can ever complain about. And the fact is, these people are progressing because of it. So they've got shows and podcasts and clicks and all this because of it. What's that? Yeah, let me bring the sister on. Actually, let me know you're on. That was the thing. That's quite good. That was. Well, Black Betterment sister.
Black Betterment, bro.
Welcome.
Can you hear me all right?
We can hear you very, very good.
Very
good.
What do you think of the video?
Well, for me, the interest I was essentially this was a piece to complain about prejudice of some kind. But the more they were talking, the more it seemed that they benefited from the so-called.
Yeah, I feel like a morning show,
Yeah,
it's not like a Degge podcast or nothing. That's
proper production and
national Jamaican prime time. They're on a panel. I think besides a lot of the obvious, I think the total disrespect for the diaspora is just crazy. I think all of this being welcoming, I don't see anything that's not a shining beacon. That doesn't promote anything to me. But I just saw problems there. Like, it was very problematic. Like, when you have the Chinese woman saying things like she wants to speak to the education board because we need to rethink the motto of our of Jamaicans' motto, right? Because I do say it the other way now. I don't say it the way that they say it, but you know what they say about the motto? She's saying that she personally wants to speak to the educational board about a motto, about a history that's before her or her directly.
Well, I'm glad you said that, sis, because I almost ignored that bit in the sense of like, was that tongue in cheek? Well, because I was like, is that, yeah.
Bro, but it could be tongue in cheek or it couldn't be, right? But it's the audacity. I wouldn't dare do that to the Saudi Arabian guy. I wouldn't even do it to her China. I wouldn't even do it to her China people. You're on big national. It's like me going on Good Morning. Even though I've been born here, the current climate here, they wouldn't want me coming on their national TV, Good Morning Britain, and start talking about how I want to change the educational board about Britain being Great Britain. Could you imagine? And get no pushback, bro.
But
it's the disrespect to the diaspora, and it's the licking of the rest of them, just lapping it all up.
That is the case study of case study there, because that
I'm
reading
telling
there
you.
is actually an A star. That's everyone put A star in the comment, because that's an A star thing there, because it happens so casually and so quickly that
It was simultaneous disrespect going on there at one time. So I was
yeah.
telling you to put it on, bro. Like,
Mm.
I know you would. This would have been a good one to chop up. I don't think we should be giving too much energy to these new ones trying to come in and be the next whatever troll. But for me, like this here, I really would have liked to have chopped it up, because
yeah,
it's her, and then the white yardie as well. So remember, that's her disrespect. White yardie he's British, right? So
Yeah.
he understands the undertones, but he really thinks that he could be the voice of the diaspora. This white man, bro, this white English man is the voice of the diaspora in Jamaica on national. Do you know what I mean, bro? Like, like I think once you watch it again, you'll see the levels. Like, I just think that there is so much in there that was simultaneously and no pushback.
No,
Not
there was
one
none.
pushback.
The gentleman was talking about his own perceived shortcomings, and the sister was very quick to try to
Give
blend
banter
it.
and just act like it's banter, and do you know what I mean? It's just 1 second it's problematic to talk like that, next second it's banter with people on the desk on the panel who are no way in your race as well. You're having that kind of banter with them just
I was
sitting
going
there
to say that
watching.
next.
It's just like, wow.
Yeah, I would say it would go for me to do a case study of them interacting with other Jamaicans and see how if the tone is the same and that. But yeah, no, that one you said there about the motto, that literally I was that it's only now I'm thinking, hold on, that's absolute man. Well, the thing,
wild.
Yeah, because I kept because the thing was
entitlement.
well before, because she was the one flashing a passport at.
But she was just
Jamaican
like that, wasn't
University.
she, on that video? Exactly, on her
Yeah,
post. She was just that arrogant. She was just
yeah,
that disrespectful.
yeah.
She did it with all kinds of chest. She was, I think, like from memory, she would be like, don't talk to me if you're from the diaspora. If you haven't got this passport, and then she bring out her daddy's passport and then her granddaddy's passport. They're all Jamaican. Like, bro, the energy was really, really bad. But not even her. When it comes to that white guy as well, Harry. Yeah, I'm not calling him white anymore. I'm calling him Harry. When it comes to Harry, did you hear what they said about? Oh, where do you normally get the most pushback? Obviously, she's been filled in, right? Clearly, because why would you ask him that kind of question if everybody loves him? So you already know, as you're saying before, that there's a hidden agenda in here, anyways. Like, but when she asked him about that, he was like, well, no, I don't get it from home or in Jamaica. He goes, I get it from the diaspora, which is us. That's a direct shot to us, because you're in you're talking about Black Britain, right? If you're in Jamaica, this in Black Britain, or worse, Jamaican British born. Do you understand? Yeah. And then he said that it's not the Jamaica, it's the Jamaicans in Britain that he gets the problem with, all the black people in Britain. Then he had the cheek to say some of them have not even touched Jamaica. They're great. You need to listen to it back.
Yeah.
He was talking about how maybe they've not even seen Jamaica, or their parent hasn't seen their or maybe even their great parent haven't even. It's like, excuse me, your parent is not Jamaican. Let's just start there.
Well,
You're a whole white guy, Harry.
He was born in England.
Exactly. But the attitude and the disrespect and audacity on black soil, on national black broadcast, bro.
The thing is, this wouldn't exist when people are talking to Chinese people born in another land. They never try to remove the Chinese, the motherland China from them, or say someone, an African born in China is more Chinese than a Chinese man born in Jamaica. Right? You know what I'm saying?
Imagine, never, yet alone talk about how they need to change anything of their national motto or anything to do with their national history.
But the thing is, I saw the same behavior with the I don't know his name, the ragga guy who moved to Jamaica for a couple of months and then moved back, and he was the one he was arguing for Sister Cream on.
Cream M.R.
Yeah, them people. Yeah, he was arguing and saying, "I'm more Jamaican than you because I was there."
And now listen to this further along the line. Now look, a couple of months later, and this is what I'm hearing of a lot of like these white Jamaicans bro, I'm telling you, it's just so problematic, bro. Like
Well,
honestly,
there is, unfortunately, there
and
is a
you know the other
colonized
guy, the
mentality.
M.R. guy, he was
Yeah.
just born out in sticks somewhere. This man
Well,
just said that
no,
his
yeah, yeah,
mum
no, he went to Jamaica on holiday. He was born in Kent or somewhere. I can't remember.
No,
But
it was like, yeah, but it was
yeah,
something worse than Kent, bro. It was like
yeah,
proper
he went to Jamaica on
sticks.
holiday and
I
stayed
don't
there.
even think it was that. I think it wasn't it that his mum got with a Jamaican guy,
I don't
and
know,
then
but
that's how he heard some of the music.
or
And
maybe,
then he ended up going to Lewisham or something, some place in London, because his sister was with a black guy and lived there for a bit. Like it's that bad. And now you're a Jamaican.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
But what I'm
that's
saying
all
is
it takes.
but this is the reason why black people don't do this is because we haven't inherited a colonized mentality, and this colonized mentality, you hear in people how they try to claim people's music. It's almost like it's even like because I was listening to some old stuff from back in the 2000s, and it was almost like an uphill struggle to use the word black music because they tried to turn to urban music, right? And that's what happens. It's like it's a step-by-step colonizing mentality where everything that you've got, what other people have got, you try to word and do it in a way where it's for everyone. So what you have is for you, and what they have is for you. You see, and it's a colonizing mentality in some aspect. And that's that. But unfortunately, the Caribbean and that there is a universal kindness where this comes from, unfortunately, being a product of being enslaved and colonized, where you're looking out for the descendants of the colonizers and people who've come to extract from your nation. And
I
that's how
don't
it
know.
is.
I don't know, like, I don't know if they see it as a novelty, white man talking with a Jamaican accent, right? But then I don't think it is. Like, I'm trying to, because to be honest with you, I've got nothing to give, like we're trying to balance it out. I just see wrong and wrong in that. I just don't understand how you can't see being so accepting because
I,
of how we are judged. I
yeah.
don't see how others can't see because of how people see us as black people anyways,
Mm.
that being so accepting, it will only be taken advantage of.
Yeah.
It
Well,
will only be
that's
a
how.
step of coming onto the panel,
Yeah.
telling you now what your country is, telling you that it's okay if I'm in charge, telling
Yeah.
you it's okay if I'm. Do
It's
you know what I
just,
mean? Being a
yeah.
South Africa, there's only
Yeah.
44% of us, but then we own everything else. And if you talk about it, you've got the problem. And
Yeah.
do you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't see how people cannot see, rather than like they have really got chest. Like they're on our panel. This is
Yeah.
Jamaica. This man is from Britain. They're
Yeah.
talking like this instead of like some sort of notion of like maybe this is kind of what happened. You've got a white guy here, is a
Yeah.
white guy, then you've got an Asian female. Like it just so happens that they're all like this. Like maybe we don't have friends. Maybe if we do let them in, this is what they tend to do. Like, you know what I mean? I don't get why that is not a notion to it, like a novelty, like, oh look, a white guy speaking with a Jamaican accent. And the reason why I can't give them that blight is
Yeah.
because they've blatantly said in there that they've seen white people with Jamaican accents all the time. It's a colonized land.
Yeah.
They've not all left.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't get it. Do you know what I mean? Like
I
I
understand.
don't
I
get it.
understand it. I do understand why some. I think, unfortunately, black people haven't recovered from being conquered by white people, and I think I know people low self esteem. It's like low self esteem as well as trying not to repeat what you perceive a problem that will happen to you. When you mix those two things together, seeing if you're Nigerian and you see a white person speak Yoruba, you're gonna do backflips. It's not expected. Oh, someone from another land who I kind of respect or whatever it is speaking my language, and I don't really. I only value my language from the concept of me speaking it as a Yoruba person, but it isn't a worldwide. Just like that, the gentleman we saw, he was undermining African languages and Creoles and stuff, whatever, right? So this is the thing. I think inside many black
But
people
my
is that
thing is
kind of
though, bro,
self-esteem.
but I can see it like a novelty. Like I could see like you seeing a white person with a Jamaican accent and it being a novelty to someone. I can just about see it. Now it's an annoyance to me, but just because I look like we're seeing a common pattern with these so-called white Jamaicans, right? But I can see like recently there was this big thing about people in America, quote unquote, discovering that there was black people in Scotland. And I think the wow factor or the novelty was you're seeing a dark skinned person with a pure Scottish accent, right? So like I get the if it's a novelty factor first off, fine. Like, oh wow, there's a white man speaking Jamaican. I get it. Oh, it's kind of funny, it's kind of cute. Okay. But then when do we say, okay, bruh, you're just entertainment? Like, you're really not going to now step on a panel and start talking for Jamaicans. Like, do you know what I mean, bro?
That's the key there, is in like, well, it's the upward mobility of
exactly, absolutely.
So this gentleman,
it's almost just ushered in, like upwards mobility. It's like a lift, bro. But black people are steady trying to climb up the stairs.
Yeah, it is. This is what the M.K. whatever his name is, guy. It's that like I'm not here to judge a person. I'm not here to judge a person's artistic craft, but he is in certain spaces when his journey and technical ability is nowhere near that of the average person.
Absolutely.
And that's just easy to see for someone who makes music, right? You just can see it, right? And I don't know, maybe that white yardie guy, whatever his name is funny. I don't know. I don't know. I don't undermine any work he's done, but there's definitely upwards mobility of being from a Caribbean island and you're not black, and you can just be. I mean, the leadership of Jamaica, it was primarily Lebanese people, wasn't it? Right, for a couple of decades. Yeah, and it's to the point where Bob Marley was shot because he was next to one of them or something, and it's like it's two Lebanese people fighting. Yeah, it's mad. So. Yeah, but then what I'm saying is, look, I know it's a horrible quote, but unfortunately, black people haven't recovered from being conquered by white people, and this is part of that process. We're doing things backwards. It takes a lot. Takes a lot to value yourself and put yourself first. But that's what we do in this kind of program, to work out how to make these things digestible. Right? And I think what you said there was very, very key, highlighting this woman is trying to change a Jamaican motto, like. You weren't there when that motto was made. Your
exactly.
It was done for a reason. Yeah, it was done for a reason. And it's like in China, there were wars going on and things going on. We're not gonna go to China and say, take out this dynasty and put Mansa Musa. We'll do that. It's just no, that's what it was, isn't it? And when we go there, we respect it. I mean, it's like when people do kung fu, they respect the kung fu masters of the generations before who were Chinese, whatever. It's all that kind of stuff, right? So it's like it's not too hard to respect people. But once again, it's very easy to colonize black people because, unfortunately, there's the high level of kindness. You see, the high level of kindness, and obviously that Jamaican brother there on the show was.
Oh my gosh, you're reading me. You're reading me.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he made it back himself.
Exactly what I thought when you were saying that.
Yeah, I saw that. Even at the end, he was still having his monologue, and the show credits were coming out. I was thinking, okay. So
at one point, though, bro, I think it was definitely either the brother or the sister turned around and said that you are a Jamaican.
It was a sister. I could tell before the show even started. That's what she wanted to say. Yeah,
so badly. Like she kept on. It wasn't just that. She's like, you're a true thoroughbred, a high son. Like she was going in, and you know what that only does is that when he comes back now, that's what makes the likes of them say the things that that guy said to Kareem. Do you understand? And it enforced the disrespect.
What you said is 10 points there, but I would say this, and this is the hardest thing. The hardest thing I think the Q is going to do, and that is. People use the rage that black people have as a marketing tool to show other black people that black people are wrong. So what I mean by that is whenever these error-prone things are going on, rather than getting like frustrated and vote and visually irate, whatever, right? Is actually just be calm and collective and be more strategic with it, because what happens is it triggers other black people's defense mechanism to jump in front of the non-black person to defend them from the wayward black person saying they're not Jamaican, African, or whatever it is, right? So there has to. I would recommend a calmer approach, just in general, so we don't trigger black people's need to quickly jump in and say, don't mistreat them, because it's just like what happened to us when we came to England, all this kind of stuff, right? So that's what it is. Like, because we're trying to not repeat what happened to us when we came to England, we're not looking at actually where this is going, and that is they will represent you and you won't represent you, and they will be in a place of authority on TV, wherever it is, getting money for stuff, before
Yeah,
you
because
can
he gets
have a job.
endorsements. I think he's got a few Jamaican brands that he's
Yeah,
endorsed.
he's that established guy. He's on that a lot of those comedy circuits and stuff, right? And I'm not saying I've never heard him. He might be the most talented man in the world. I don't know, right? But I'm more talking about the ease of how these things. And he said, look, when I was in Jamaica, I never got any stress. It's when I came to back to England, and I was obviously had an accent, and I don't know the conversation he would have had with. But if it's anything like the M.Dot conversation, I can see why Jamaicans might be frustrated.
Exactly.
But we're only there for one side. But either way, but sis, this is a good. We're waiting for our packet more next week. But
Yeah, no problem.
this is a very good thing. Well, thank you for that. So to everyone who practice Black Betterment, know you're important. For those who don't, know you're loved. And Black Betterment to all Black Betterment. Big up young Zanis. I hope I'm saying it right. African Goddess. CN Daily. Thanks for stopping by. Melee Goddess. Big up Empress Christie just jumped on. Brother Foster. Who else we were dealing with? It was that. I think that might have been it. Anyone else who I forgot? Brother Dominic. So I should never forget Brother Dominic. Very important contributor. As well as I think that's it. Anyone in the future, leave your comments what you want to cover next week. But we might try to expand this topic again and make it into in some kind of case study, whatever. Well, until next week, Black Betterment to all, Black Betterment. Have a good day. Peace.